What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 35 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Archaon the Everchosen campaign. So as we saw last time, 'twas a chance show as he fought battle after battle in order to survive all the way out here, near the crater of the Walking Dead. He's been doing a pretty good job at doing so and has managed to beat the odds over and over again. I'm very proud of this army and the effectiveness of the soul grinders of Nurgle. And in fact, just judging by the fact that he survived several battles that perhaps we didn't need to expect him to survive, I think we're going to go for Lamia after all. I was thinking that, well, because it's a tier 5 settlement, because it has all of the buildings completed, it probably has a crazy garrison, but once again, Chant keeps beating the odds, so we may as well risk it. So that's what we're going to do. To start this episode off, there's other stuff to do as well, as Throg has moved in range of Archaon. It's time to declare war upon him, and then take all of the important stuff that he's got, which will hopefully work out reasonably well for us. Also, before I forget, you, Chant, you were gonna get a couple of screamers, weren't you? Get a couple of screamers right there. Pop them into your army. 19 out of 20 now, though of course a few of these units will be replaced. We could also give you a great Chaos Dragon, maybe even 2, though I'm now thinking that, okay, wait. It really depends on how many Manticores we keep. If we keep none, it completely removes the issue altogether, but we do want to get the heroes into this army as well. And it'll probably need to be 3 heroes plus 2 Chaos Dragons, would mean a removal of all the Manticores. Now, I like the Manticores, but we've been using them in other armies, and it's not like it's super necessary to have them here, and I kind of like this to be a more or less Tzeentchian army. It's also going to take a while to get the Marauder horses to become Doom Knights, but 'tis what it is. Anyway, let's get started. Chant, since you're continuing on, let's start with you, and then we'll go Throg afterwards. I want to see this battle through first, because it'll be the most difficult one. Ooh, can you reach Lamia in summoning? 2%, looks like you just can. Close, go. Alright, ooh, what do we have here? Ooh, Lamia, no, go. Ooh. Alright, that was close. We can attack Khalida outside of the settlement, and the garrison will come out and play. Heck of a garrison, though. Yeah, those Ushabti with great bows are most definitely going to be a problem for us. Then they have a Bone Giant, quite the ranged lineup there. Plenty of Tomb Guard, though they're not as problematic due to our Soul Grinders being able to rip them apart. Hyro Titan and Tomb Scorpion, both incredibly tanky, and we'll probably have to leave them to last. And then there's Khalida. We may be able to deal with her by destroying her before the enemy army arrives, but it does depend on how long it takes the reinforcements to get on the field. It'll be risky either way. Oh, should be an interesting battle. Before we get started, though, looks like we did manage to just barely reach the engagement threshold. Trends are downward now, so eventually this campaign will probably go through to the standard episode length, which is the 30 to 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes standard. We're not there yet, but do keep it in mind for those that are enjoying the hour-long episodes re-engagement. The offer does still stand. 250 likes and 45 comments, and the next episode will follow suit hour-wise. Anyway, another time for Chant to prove his worthiness and to join the ranks of the Demon Princes. Go.
Fortunate we are to have crossed paths with this saga. Death is the only fate for those who oppose the servants of decay.
Alright, here we go. Khalida being outside of the settlement is hopefully going to work out real well for us. She is not with support here, so we can get all the soul grinders, plus some doggos, plus Chant himself to bring her down relatively quickly. Plus, that's a lot of debuffs being combined all at once. Poison, Lethal Poison, Miasma of Pestilence, and Helm of Discord brings her melee attack down to a mere 13 and her weapon strength to 555, which ain't too bad. She's a pretty darn scary lord, and we certainly don't want her to activate her explosion ability on the doggos. She did activate it immediately as soon as she charged in, but I think only managed to kill off a single hound, which ain't too bad. And it wasn't from this unit. And there's the poor hound. But that's okay, certainly worth our time. As to why I sent the hounds in here at all, together with the soul grinders, I believe that with them attacking, or their smaller entities, more of them were able to attack as well together with the soul grinders. So I thought it would be the faster way to kill her off. Now, Khalida, while a very scary lord, is not going to be the issue here. The actual army certainly is a lot of range available to the enemy. A Bone Giant 6 Ushabti with Great Bow and a Screaming Skull Catapult, and we're going to see about taking them out. So, this is the way we deployed. We have a nice hill up here with all of our Plague Claw Catapults and Rattling Guns up there, though obviously all of our Skaven units are still damaged from our previous fight. Our melee units are sort of blocking or around them, and the reason that they are set up in this manner is because the enemy likes to drop that Tomb Swarm or whatever the heck that Scarab ability is, and I don't want it hitting several units at once. On top of that, we've kept the Trenchfoot and the Tarnished Legion back because they're both at level 5 and thus immediately able to upgrade, and we'll instead send the other 3 in to fight so that they can acquire enough XP and then hopefully get upgraded as well. Anyway, the enemy reinforcements have arrived, and unfortunately for us, they arrive right where there is a nice little copse of trees to protect them from the bombardment by our soul grinders of Nurgle. We also move Chant in to get a single stream of pestilence, stream of corruption in through the enemy army, though it looks like that didn't do all that much. Alrighty, and the enemies will give chase to Chant here, so we are going to have to briefly fire upon those Necropolis Knights. A little bit of a waste to use the bombardment from the Soul Grinders on them, but it does a little bit of damage, about 30% after several volleys. This many volleys would have completely destroyed a unit of Tomb Guard, but it's alright. And here they come. We're going to countercharge them with 2 of our Soul Grinders and pop a Miasma of Pestilence on both of these units of Necropolis Knights while we slowly work our way through. The other 3 Soul Grinders will continue to bombard the enemy army rather than immediately join the fight, as we want to deal as much damage to those melee units as possible. Do have to be careful though, as we clearly have begun to lose HP. 2,000 HP immediately lost on one of our Soul Grinders, as it has taken a volley from the Ushabti with Great Bow. The other Ushabti are firing into the midst of the fight here, though this isn't nearly as problematic as plenty of their shots, I'm sure, will hit the enemy units of Necropolis Knights. And with the Necropolis Knights heavily damaged, we get to summon the Chaos Spawn. This will allow Chant and both of the Soul Grinders to leave this portion of the fight, and we will retreat with the rest of the Soul Grinders shortly. And just to back off to the point that we are not getting hit by the enemy Ushabti anymore. And there we go, backing off those Soul Grinders. And with the Ushabti, when the Ushabti get outranged, we simply start firing on the enemy Tomb Guard yet again. So far, the Soul Grinders have been pretty great at this sort of skirmishing thing that we've been doing with them, certainly getting decent value out of them. In addition to that, over on the sidelines, or over on the flanks here, we did deploy 3 of our doggos out in this corner where there are a pile of trees. 2 of them are going to attack this unit of Necropolis Knights and hopefully bring them down, and especially with the massive amount of physical resistance that they have now, plus regeneration, plus the debuffs out of Swarm of Flies. It should be a pretty pretty decently in our favor, whereas the other unit of hounds will go for the Screaming Skull Catapult. We are hoping to get the hounds into the piles of enemy Ushabti as well, but for now have to back up our Soul Grinders lest they lose any more HP. They are getting focused down rather quickly. We saw in Valkia's army how much damage our Bloodthirsters took to those things, so definitely can't take them lightly. A parting stream of corruption will move through some of the Tomb Guard, and we will back off and continue the bombardment with the Soul Grinders once more. And at this point, the enemy has reached close enough so that not only the Soul Grinders, but our catapults are firing as well. Looks like a unit of Necropolis Knights and a unit of Ushabti has decided to chase these Soul Grinders down, and will send all the Soul Grinders into melee to break those Ushabti apart. Ushabti are pretty big, but the Soul Grinders make them look absolutely tiny by comparison. And we also have our War Shrine here as well, so everybody can get nice and healthy from this thing. And especially considering we've taken damage to those Ushabti with Great Bow. Over on the flank, it looks like our 2 units of Doggos have pretty much destroyed this 1 unit of Necropolis Knights, which is pretty darn impressive, considering this is a pretty darn elite unit. And the Necropolis Knights, I mean. And the Doggos not so much, but they're such a strong unit, whether they be the Beastman version or whether they be the Warriors of Chaos version. And the other units are back here. We're not going to send them at the Bone Giant or the Hyro Titan for obvious reasons. But it's looking pretty good. Balance of power has shifted very slightly in our favor at about 55%, and the enemy is very much running out of infantry. Those volleys from the Soul Grinders certainly doing damage, and now they've even drawn close enough for our rattling guns to fire on them as well. They do have shields, and by they I mean the Tomb Guard. But that'll be okay. Plus, they're now suppressed on top of all that, so their speed is down to a mere 21. And if we can get some poison on them, they'll be even slower. Hey, there's that Tomb Swarm coming down. Fortunately, it just seemed to whiff on those Marauders, though they are taking shots from those darn units of Ushabti with Great Bow, which are still most definitely going to be a problem. Enemy Tomb Scorpion has arrived in between the War Shrine and Chant, a unit of Marauders of Nurgle, and our Soul Grinders. We should be able to surround and destroy it reasonably quickly. Also, I freaking love these things. Just the very concept, because they're essentially Tomb King dreadnoughts. And it's just a very nice idea. Alright, though they are very, very tanky, it's going to take a while to bring it down. It has begun to crumble, and will eventually crumble away. Looks like the enemy Tomb Guard are still failing to reach us, and those that draw just close enough simply get ripped apart by the rattling guns and by the Skaven catapults or Plague Claw catapults up on top of the hill. In the meantime, our Doggos have begun doing work as well. Each Doggo has separated from each other Doggo, or each unit, in order to distract those Ushabti with Great Bow. Can't have them firing on our Soul Grinders anymore. And that's 4 of them that aren't firing, and we have sent a few more of our units of Marauders in to help them out. They do need to acquire some XP to become Chaos Warriors after all. Here come the Soul Grinders to start working on the enemy Ushabti with Great Bow, with the enemy having run out of a significant amount of the of infantry. We're not really worried about having the Soul Grinders do artillery work anymore, and their melee contributions are going to be much more necessary. And especially considering the fact that our rattling guns together with our Plague Claws can deal with the remnants of the enemy infantry. Good job, rattling guns. Also, good job matching the color scheme of this army as well, with all that warpstone stuff that you like to do. Besides, Chaos likes warpstone as well, so it all works out. As we can see, similar to the Necropolis Knights, or similarly to the Necropolis Knights, the Pestilent Doggos are absolutely wrecking face when facing off against the Ushabti with Great Bow. Which does make sense. The Pestilent Doggos do struggle quite a bit against the regular Ushabti, but the Great Bow are weak enough in melee that it's not really a problem. Getting a few volleys against the enemy Tomb Prince here with our Rattling Guns, while the rest of the Marauders and Plague Doggos continue destroying the Ushabti with Great Bow, which are no longer able to fire. There is still a Cairo Titan and a Bone Giant on the field, but it doesn't seem to matter all that much, as the enemy army has been, well, divided and conquered, I would say, pretty well in this particular fight. Just gotta rip that Tomb Prince apart now, and damn, he looks so tiny compared to the War Shrine and those Soul Grinders as well. And just a few more hits, and frankly, the model is so tiny we won't be able to see it get destroyed, so let's watch the Hyro Titan and the Bone Giant. Bone Giant will be the target of our Rattling Guns as well. I imagine those tiny little Warpstone bullets are like flies to the thing, but at the same time, they are Warpstone bullets, and thus they'll damage pretty much anything. Marauders will distract the thing, while the Rattling Guns do the work, and we'll head for the Hyro Titan with some Soul Grinders. And in the same way that the Soul Grinders make the Ushabti look tiny, the Hyro Titan makes the Soul Grinders look pretty darn tiny by comparison as well. But at least it's distracted by the Marauders, who we don't care as much about, while the Soul Grinders get to work. And, oh, did I miss it? It looks like the Bone Giant has gone down. The Rattling Guns finished it off a little bit quicker than I was expecting. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Here we go, just time to surround the last unit. We're not going to bother having the Rattling Guns bring it down, since the Soul Grinders are already engaged. Man, you gotta love Hyro Titans, though. A rule of cool makes me always want to build these guys. And just because they're aesthetically so fantastic. Alright, a couple more hits and it'll be going down since it's the last unit on the field. Sadly, we won't see the death animation, and I guess there's no need to watch. There we go. Heroic victory for Chant, and I think we did really, really well here. Let's find out how well, but I'm actually thinking we barely took any damage at all. All right, very, very nice. You know, I think that went a lot better than it potentially could have. I think between the terrain very much favoring us, giving us a high elevation from which to fire our Plague Claws and Rattling Guns from, as well as the secondary hill that we were able to retreat to using our Soul Grinders, made sure that the enemy was pretty screwed. And by the time that they got to us, plus Khalida being on the field and forcing the enemy army to come in as a reinforcement allowed us a much longer time to deal damage to the enemy army before the melee troops got into the actual fight, which meant that the enemy army was decimated by the time they got to us, which really worked out. We are going to... Okay, sacrificing is useless here, clearly, so I guess kill the captives, but there shouldn't be anything left at the enemy settlement anyway. And A, campaign movement range and perfect vigor, very nice. We are going to... Do we have room enough to sack this? Because it's worth a lot. Maybe. Hopefully. Guess we're about to find out. And sack it, like so. And then occupy it. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. It looks like we didn't get to keep the gem mine or whatever it is, but at the same time, we don't necessarily want to right now. We'll build the Exalted Hero building first, because we really need some Exalted Heroes of Nurgle in this particular army. At least one, maybe two if we can swing it, though I'm not entirely sure about that one. And if we were to get two, I'm not entirely sure who we would delete. On the bright side, after that battle, it looks like all of our troops are ready to upgrade into Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. We'll do the shielded ones for this particular army, since it's, well, since we're using the non-shielded versions in other armies. for the armor piercing, but we have other sources of armor piercing here between the rattling guns and the soul grinders and whatnot. Yeah, I'm looking pretty good. Lords of Silence, Bogwalkers, Trenchfoot, and Tarnished Legion, you've all earned your places. This Chaos Warrior unit is probably going to get replaced by an Exalted Hero. Would really be nice to have too, but whatever. Let's go for upgrading another point in Chaos Vanguard. Do we want to, or do we? No, you know what? Let's get another point in Warpfire and then back to Chaos Vanguard. Lovely. Lovely, and now at least the leadership won't be nearly as problematic for this particular army, since we have immunity to psychology on the Chaos Warriors, which we didn't have on the, Marauders of Nurgle. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. And Chant, you're at level 11, you need to be level 20, so you're getting there. Gonna take a little bit of time, but you know what? Maybe that'll be your reward for completely destroying the Court of Libaros, assuming, they have a territory all the way out here. I could send Scarby over to do it, if he's willing to declare war on her. I tried to get Scarby to declare war on several other factions earlier, and he really, really didn't want to. Minus 14, actually not so bad. It used to be like minus 120 something, so it's certainly better than it was. Alrighty. Archie, okay, wait, before we declare war on Throg, we need to do two things, or multiple things. First of all, Chant. Let's get you a Chaos Dragon. Can we get you 2 Chaos Dragons? Oh, they're gonna be so incredibly expensive. But it is a flying army. It's not a Tzeentchian unit, but nonetheless. We have Manticores in other places, and just to double check, yes, we can get 2 Chaos Dragons. Yeah, let's do 2 Chaos Dragons for you. I might get Bellicor 2 Chaos Dragons as well. Just because otherwise we'll never be able to see too much out of the Chaos Dragons. Several armies have to have them, so we actually get to enjoy watching them. Plus, I want to see some comparisons of them between them and other units, and then between them and then themselves, based on the follows the strongest trait that they have. So you, Chant, are level 7, and this guy has 803 damage, and for Archie it has 1.1k damage. I wonder if any other traits affected, and also how veterancy will affect these guys, which will all be interesting to see. Anyway, Chant, you are looking good now. We're at minus 340 income now. I gotta be a little bit careful with that. Throg, it is time. Declare war upon you.
I get hungry again. Put it on ice.
Alright, there we go, and Archie, we're going to send you directly to destroy him. I'm not going to bother with the stances, because I'd like to see if we can't get to Prague and ignore Kislev, though. No guarantee. Do we want to upgrade you? Let's get you... too late now. I was going to get him hard to hit, but I guess it really probably won't matter all that much. Throg does also not have perfect vigor, so he'll have the march stance, screwing him over. This really is not going to be a difficult fight whatsoever, is it? Mostly I just want to see Throg and Archie do it. You know, let's just fight this manually real quick. We'll send Archie to duel Throg, and we don't really have to control our army to watch that, and then once we're ready, we can send the rest of the army, and maybe we'll get a few shots of our Chaos Dragon, and doing a thing or two as well. Besides, we have plenty of other fights that we can take a little bit more seriously nearby. Alright, looking good. You guys back up, please start deployment. Archie, by yourself for now. Let's get the... Did it save their formation? Hey, it did save their formation. Fantastic, good job, game. You can be group 2. Stay all the way out here, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Did it save the other formations? It did indeed. Alrighty, so Prince Ograx leads the... ones... Should have probably swapped some of those out, whatever. I was gonna say Prince Ograx leads the Blood Guard, as in the Chaos or the Coronate Knights, whereas we should probably have the Nurgle hero with the Nurgle Knights, but not a big deal. Chaos Dragon, how you looking? Looking pretty good. We can still get these guys as mounts for Chaos Sorcerer Lords, right? Double check that. I mean, it looks like it still has the thing. the seat. Alright, well, I'm gonna see you in combat shortly, sir. You two can be group 5, I guess, sort of work together. Alright, Archie, go. Fight Throggy. Speed it up. And probably gonna get hit with a few of those javelins as you move in, but... Alright, you guys just get out of his way, please. Alright, activate Slayer of Kings and fight. Oh my lord. Look at that. On his charge, he took like 6,000 HP off of Throg. Good lord. And you know what? We can buff him up even further like this. I'm gonna keep it slowed down because Throg is gonna die in like 3 hits. I honestly expected him to take a little bit more hits because Throg has a crazy amount of HP as well. He has more HP, or considerably more HP, than Archaon does, but that's not really doing anything for him as he's down to 1,000. Ouch. I always forget, so Throg killed Sigvald, but was it in Storm of Chaos or in End Times? I always get them confused. Sort of ripped him apart and yeah. Anyway, down goes Throg with 27 HP. Did he just get knocked down, or is that his death animation? Throg, you getting back up from that? He is not getting back up from that. Alright, and Archaon lost absolutely no HP. Okay, no, he lost like 30 or 20, 23 from his barrier, and that's it. Well, I guess he doesn't need regen for that. Anyway, let's start moving the rest of the army in. Dragon and Mage, you can come in as well. Or otherwise, Archaon will just kill everything. Alright, Archaon, you can just keep fighting. Alright, I want to see the Great Chaos Dragon do its Dark Fire of Chaos Breath. Looks like it's similarly short range to a regular Chaos Dragon, or regular Dragon Breath, but give it a try. I want to see if, what animation this is. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. And that got you 26 kills and if I could just game, please. What? I just wanted to take a look at how much damage he dealt, but it wouldn't let me. Anyway, rest of the force, let's finish this battle. Alright, you guys go here, you guys go here, speed it up a little bit while the rest of us move on in. Dragon is down. Should be careful about the dragon getting hurt. Archie, you want to buff the dragon up with the armor of Morcar. You can also use stand or die. And I'm just going to activate a few abilities, and then, you know what, I would like you to not get surrounded by those trolls, so let's not have you do that. And you can go in over here. Alright. You can activate Forbidden Rod. You know what, use the Chosen... well... What was this? Chosen of Tzeentch? I thought it was Fires of Tzeentch, but close enough. Alright, Dragon, this is your show, to some degree. Archie made Throg look very, very weak. Ooh, I like the different breaths from the two dragon's heads. That's quite nice. It's been a while since I've seen these guys on the field, so... Running old is new again. Let's see, you're actually taking a little bit of damage. I would like our Exalted Hero of Nurgle, if I can find him in here, to move in and heal up the dragon with a Locus of Fecundity. Yeah, the dragon's going to be one of the more fragile units in this army, but, well, normally we wouldn't be using it in really this manner. So, kind of makes sense. And you know what, let's pop, doesn't really matter what spell, I don't know, blue fire, go. I just wanted to pop a spell to make sure that we activate Fires of Tzeentch, or whatever the passive is, to get the ward save a little bit for the dragon. Alright, a couple more shots and the battle will be ours. In fact, if it's not already ours, who's still fighting? There's a Marauder Champions with Great Axes units fighting. Alright, make sure that they fight no longer. And ooh, look at that. One of our units have chosen with Great Weapons. Probably... was it the Fimir Warriors that hurt them? I'd wonder. 1,000 HP? No, probably not. I wonder what hurt them. Might have been a Marauder Champions unit that actually did the damage. Well, either way, Archie, go meet the enemy. We can activate our abilities as well, just because we have them. Not that we really need them. Clearly not going to be taking this battle too much more seriously than we already are, which is not at all. Yeah, we have another Dragon Breath available. Let's use it on these Marauder Hunters. I'd like you guys to charge them as well. decent distance on that. That'll probably cause them to rot. I would actually like to reactivate Locus of Fecundity, but it looks like we won't be able to. Battle will end before we do. Decent amount of enemies coming back though, but not for long. It looks like the last of them are now just about to shatter, and there we go. Alright, I was hoping to get another heal on the dragon, but it's okay. I take it doesn't have regen? No, it doesn't. It's not regenerating at all. Well, that's a shame. But nonetheless, it did its work. We saw Throg absolutely destroyed by archery. Man, Archaon's charge is pretty insane. Once again, it seems to hit multiple times whenever he does that, probably due to his fast attack / combo attacks plus the charge. Bonus may be activated on all of them at once, because, yeah, I think Throg is like 15,000 HP or something pretty crazy. The fact that he dropped by like 6,000 from a single charge is pretty nice, considering that Archaon's stat was saying 1.3k weapon strength. But anyway, we're going to take the sacrifice to captives, I guess. We are gonna need money now. And can you reach Prague? Oh, man, just a little bit out. Okay, fine. Annoying, but what can you do? You're gonna take Kislev then. Colonize Kislev, then grab Prague right after. Prague from Throg. We will try to get Olaf Hilmarsson to occupy Volksgrad, I guess. We don't really care about the wood, to be perfectly honest. And then maybe take Yechich and give it to them as well. We will also want you, Sir, Hamathane Thros, to occupy the Bay of Blades, because that'll give you a little bit more than what you have. Alrighty, and just out of curiosity, okay, he's not willing to become a vassal as yet, but that'll change. Next, the declaration of war against Throg will have made a lot of units from these guys cheaper, which means now is the time to recruit them, so we need to make good use of it. Demahar Crowbrother, we want you to pop into encamp stance and then head to allied territory, and then immediately recruit the Exalted Bloodletters that you're missing. So, not gifted units, but allied recruitment. Exalted Bloodletters, yeah, see, now they're 33 down from 64 or something like that, just by virtue of the proximity of those wars. And then we should get another one from Exiles of Khorne, which are also 34 now. Nice. That's 2 Exalted Bloodletters. We'll get 2 War Shrines in here, and then more Bloodletters. A fun little demonic army for Demahar. Good. Alrighty, now you're not the only one who we may want to recruit from. The Slaaneshi stuff isn't super necessary, at least from this faction, but the Tzeentch stuff very much is. So, we're gonna have Village move to the Stone Mine Tower. And we want to get him another one of these Exalted Pink Horse, or I guess we could get this guy to do it. It depends on if it takes 1 or 2 turns. Let's find out in a sec. Alright, auto-resolve this. This will kill the faction, won't it? Find out. Subjugate, that's pointless. Let's sacrifice... Okay, hopefully you can still occupy it. Yes, you can, good. And occupy, please, like so. Crooked Moon destroyed. Good, good, good. Now, I would like to see All-Seeing Eye. It takes 2 turns to recruit the Exalted Pink Horrors of Tzeentch. Okay, so, assuming that we're moving back this way, because we're going to send Village to Mount Gunbad to deal with the Crooked Moon, and then this army to deal... Yeah, still can't level those up. To deal with Grimgore, though I'm not 100% sure whether it will physically be able to, but, well, we'll give it a shot. Then... Oh. Probably could have sent somebody to deal with Furt here. What's the best way to do this? We need to kill you off. Okay, you know what? It's probably a waste of time fighting it, so here's what we'll do. Get some Marauders, get some Trolls, get the Chaos Spawn. I just want to auto-resolve it. It'll cost a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, it's fine. Will we need the Chaos Feral Manticore for this? I'm gonna hope not. Maybe. Alright, fine. Let's get the Chaos Feral Manticore. Oh! We could get a bunch of Nurglings in here. We're not really using them anywhere else, and then we can put them in other places later on. And also, they're really easy to get, so... Yeah, now that should be very much auto-resolvable, yes? Yes, indeed it is. It'll kill off 2 Nurglings, but I don't care. Alright, and then we will, I guess, sacrifice. It doesn't really matter. You're going to go back into Barrack Var briefly, and then you're going to sit here defending it from Matorka, or from the ogres over at Matorka. And you're going to do some recruiting. Get you villages... Exalted Pink Horror. Now... How close are we still? Okay, only 30 to get the Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, so we still want that on the field as well for the other army. Just gotta remember if I can, or if I do. I actually really love to send the village down here to deal with the Bloody Hands or finish them off, but they have more stuff over here, so it probably wouldn't be their end. Anyway, frankly, we might need to keep an Arath Magoth or another army nearby, just to sort of prevent these guys retaking territory. And of course they will respawn, but anyway. Azazel. Ah. And you've got a date with Tyrion. Alright, well, since Valkia is gonna be way too far from this, I guess we're gonna send you to do it. So, start moving around this way. We're still gonna send Valkia here, but it's gonna take like 3 turns for her to get here, and I'd rather not just wait with Azazel. So we're gonna fight instead. Alright, Azazel. Now let's level up your hero, who has Retinue Trainer up and running now. Good. We have Deadly Onslaught. We can get, I guess, Infernal Champion, then we'll go Horseman of the Apocalypse. You are... We could also change these guys to Chosen, but frankly, with our money the way it is, maybe we don't want to do that as yet. Especially since we're gonna get a couple more Keepers of Secrets into this army, and a couple Soul Grinders into this army very shortly, as the Gift of Slaanesh is gonna be complete next turn, so... let's fight. We're gonna have to be careful here, because unlike Valkia, Azazel has no chance in Tyrion, or against Tyrion, in a one-on-one. Yeah, just judging by the stats, there's absolutely no way. And that's without the buffs that he gets from Sunfang's activation. Oh, Sunfang's activation is just a breath attack, okay. And Heart of Avalorn gives him regeneration. Would be nice if Archaon had regeneration, but anyway. Pyrrhic victory, medium casualties, let's see about that.
Fight me, if that is your wish, but it is a foolish one.
Alrighty, here we go. Now, obviously, originally we had kind of promised Tyrion to Valkia, but she's gonna take too long to get here, so this is what we're going to do instead. We're probably gonna have to send Valkia to Lothern just so she doesn't get too angry about this whole thing. Hopefully she's not so annoyed by it that she rips Azazel's heads off and makes a new demon shield out of him. Because it's very plausible. But anyway, we're going to move Azazel and co in. Gonna drop that Rod of Torment as well as the Lash of Slaanesh down upon the enemy, who are milling around below. Unfortunately, Tyrion can't fly and thus cannot help the Great Eagles as they get ripped apart by Azazel and by the Exalted Hero. Very nice, very nice. We're gonna give chase to them while the rest of our army moves into position. Since we do have a pile of trees here, we're going to make good use of them rather than spreading the army out. We'll keep them near to each other, wherein the enemy range units will suffer due to the fact that they can't shoot well through the trees. Over on the flanks here, we have hidden in the trees a pile of chariots and exalted demonettes, and some chariots and demonettes over on this side as well, to hopefully get all the enemy range units once the rest of our units have engaged. Speaking of engaging with the rest of our units, here we go, running directly towards the enemy army. Exalted Heroes in the lead and smashing right into a pile of enemy White Lions. And is that the Pure Main Company? Yeah, it's the Pure Main Company. Alright, so a very scary unit of white lions indeed, and they're unbreakable as well, so we will have to kill them down to a single unit. But that's just fine by us, I think. Ooh, I like the way that that everything gets lit up by the lashes of Slaanesh, and Phantasmagoria looking pretty fantastic in the trees, sacrifice making all nice and atmospheric. You gotta love the effect of Phantasmagoria as well. I wish that there was an effect that you could just sort of activate, like one of the lords could just like activate this thing and just have the phantasms fighting around them constantly. But hey, at the very least, the marquee looks pretty good under the sacrifice and among those trees. More lashes of Slaanesh coming down, and those Phantasmagoria hits probably confusing the heck out of the enemy. In the meantime, our flankers have arrived, the chariots and the demonettes smashing into the enemy lines, and the lashes of Slaanesh have allowed us to summon a unit of Chaos Spawn right in the middle of the enemy formation. Obviously, Lothern, Seaguard, and whatever other range units that were here have absolutely no chance against demonettes and chariots. And they're getting mowed down in absolute droves. We can see just piles of elf archer corpses. And similarly on this side, we got a little bit of a fight going. Rahagra's Pride being held off by the Chaos Warriors with Hell Scourges, but fortunately we have a hero here together with a unit of Exalted Champions, or Aspiring Champions, whatever. And they'll be able to rip these guys apart. I guess Tyrion went all in on the White Lion specials in this particular army. Speaking of Tyrion, he is right in the middle of the enemy formation here, but by the looks of it, he is wavering. Fear of Aramar on him. And it looks like the rest of his army, save for the Pure Main Company, will actually shatter, and we don't have to deal with Tyrion at all. He took a little bit of damage while in the middle of that blow, but his army got destroyed so quickly that he couldn't do anything. Well, that's his problem. Well done to Azazel's army. Turned out to be a very quick battle, I should say. But a pretty effective one as well. We had the terrain very much in our favor here as well, since we were able to hide both flanking units in the trees and use the trees to protect us against the piles of enemy range units for the main part of the army as well. So, good job to Azazel. Alright, no problem at all. I guess we didn't need Valkia to do this for Azazel. After all, the issue with having a lord as powerful as Tyrion who is not unbreakable is that his army gets ripped apart, and in particular, as this wasn't the strongest of armies, they got ripped apart fairly quickly. And then Tyrion wasn't able to leverage his own strength because he just routed. Very nice. Alrighty, well, we got plenty of money for our trouble. Another Razor Standard. We've been racking up those Razor Standards throughout this campaign quite a bit. Let's sack it for the additional XP. And defeated Tyrion gives us a recruit rank +1 and melee attack +2. Well, more melee attack for the various Hell Scourges, I guess. Income from sacking settlements. Well, there's that Razor Standard. We're gonna occupy... I was thinking maybe... we could actually probably reach the Forest of Arnheim from here, couldn't we? And then take both. Probably auto-resolve this one as well, because we could pop into regular stance and... Actually, no, we can't. Azazel has max movement range, so I guess not. Alright, fine, just take it then. And just take it. Alright, we may have to send Valkia to Ulthuan, I'm not sure. Well, that's not the worst thing in the world. We can also send her to the Galleon's Graveyard, which is pretty much guaranteed to be a great fight as well. Anyway, what were we doing here? We have Speed and Malice missing, so let's get that to buff up our chariots. Such as they are. And we could also now switch these guys to Chosen, but once again... I really don't want to waste the XP that they're racking up, but at this... Oh, you can't even be a Chosen yet. Well, you're maxed out in XP. It's a waste of XP. You know what, we'll probably switch them next turn. Oh, wait, actually. Since we're getting the bonus XP from Sacrifice Captives, maybe now is the time. Alright, fine. Fine, this is gonna hurt. And these are all Hell Scourges in this army, so Hell Scourges ye shall be. Alright, lost like 60 armor for your trouble, and became way more expensive, but, well, you serve a purpose here. Anyway, let's continue. Gulator, actually, you're one of the only ones who can't move right now, because we need one more turn, right? Yeah, one more turn. Alright, Festus, just the one. And this is actually auto-resolvable if this guy doesn't come back to the territory, so, yeah. Actually surprised that we haven't seen Festus respawn on the field. It feels like it's been some time, but anyway. Kolek, grab this shipwreck real quick. And... okay, fine, move forward slightly. Out to the wreck. Auto-resolve. I don't know, sacrifice captives, because we might not be able to get any mileage out of the bonuses. And lost cargo. Alright, nice, nice. That actually fixes our money problem. For 6 turns only, mind you, but fixes it nonetheless. We could get all the way to this shipwreck, but then, I guess then the question will be where would we land? Or we could go right here, grab this shipwreck at the start of Kolek's next move, and land at Machu Peaks, take it, and then move straight to Hexoatl, which is probably the way to go. Alright, very nice. Very nice, Kolek. I hope that Mazdamundi is alive somewhere so that we can actually fight him. Kuchar, you are going to... What are you doing? Alright, well. You're dying is what you're doing. I've been excited to find out whether we can, in fact, subjugate an elven faction, so... Or will they... No, they're Brass Cleaver, very appropriate for the Coronate army. Or will they fight to the death just like the Exiles of Nehek did? We're about to find out. Kuchar, and when you go to Tower of the Sun, what do we have in terms of defenses here, by the way? Ow. Defenses are kind of garbage. Close victory, it's just a pile of Lothern Seaguard. You know what, I think we'll just auto-resolve this. Yeah, it's some damage, but not a huge deal. And we will subjugate. It does work. Alright, got some nice corrupted elves that joined us. Oh, you know what I probably should have done? Actually, no, we're fine. So they don't like us, minus 1.8k, but it is what it is. I guess the problem with things like this is that they still condemn the treaties with all of those other factions. Those are all probably factions that they have an aversion to, which is what's happening here. And they don't like gifts given to them and all that other stuff. But nonetheless, it was just for fun, because I wanted to see if it would work. You, sir. Stay in channel. Wait, you don't need to channel. Well, I guess you could just sit here then. Give him some... whatever, it's just fine. Yeah, it's fine. I was about to say give him some Chaos Corruption, but it's not going to stick around here anyway. Siggy, I believe you were on the way to the Isle of Wights, and away you go. Got to get that port up and running. I think we have 1 or 2 more turns until Bellicor is ready as well. In fact, you know what, let's leech some XP with the Soul Grinders here. Just so that Bellicor has slightly stronger Soul Grinders when he gets on the field. Auto-resolve this, and oh wow, these guys didn't even get hurt. Oh, that's shocking. Oh, we won't be able to use it as a port if we gift it immediately to the vassal. I didn't check what level it was, but yeah, let's just gift it to the vassal. It was level 1. I was hoping it would be level 2, but oh well. Province secured Albion, which is great. We're gonna immediately go into exploit vassals. Don't really care about the path to glory for you, because you're just here temporarily while we wait for Bellicor. You can also move back to Conquata, wherein we will get Bellicor on the field. Siggy, heal up a little bit, and... oh, at least we're nearly there to upgrading you guys. There's that, at least. Hey, you can head to the water, good. At least you won't waste the movement next turn. Ooh, Heinrich Kemmler is nearby. I mean, I guess before going to Ultron, we could land right here briefly and fight him if he stays. Though I suppose if he goes for Kuran, there might still be an opportunity for that. Who's over here, by the way? Boris Todbringer. Yeah, the problem with all the enemies on this coastline is that the fact that they'll probably try to attack us, but And we may have to send Bellicor to deal with them so that they don't retake territories of ours, or possibly take territories from our minion/vassal factions. Malefac's Rune Smasher. Looking a lot better, good sir. I still haven't decided what to replace the Armored Chaos Trolls with completely, but I'm liking the way that this is looking now. Minus the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne. I think if I were to replace them, I'd probably replace them with Knights of Nurgle rather than Knights of Khorne. The Knights of Khorne are a little bit too fragile. But I suppose if we can at least get these guys to become Skull Crushers and these guys to become Doom Knights, that would still work. We still have room for gifts as well, and I was thinking about getting some Skull Cannons in here, which would work nicely. I'll think about it. For now, we need to figure out where to send you, sir. I guess we can't reach the Golden Colossus immediately, but we do want to potentially occupy this, to potentially trade it to our ally, future ally, or Rakarth. So I think that's the way we'll be moving. So go into raiding stance. You know what, I'm not going to risk raiding stance. Go into regular stance, go out here. Copper Landing, don't collect the income, it hardly matters. We'll find the Cult of Sotek's army sooner rather than later, I'm sure, as well, so we'll need to keep an eye out. Anyway, that was Malefic's. Chant 2. Zinshin Boogaloo. Let's... You can't reach Krakadrak, eh? Oh, I just realized a small problem. Corson might sail out to grab the Frozen Landing, which we actually want to grab for the Goromadni tribe. We could try to get it now and then go for Sioktraken and then for Krakadrak. Hopefully this guy doesn't go for Krakadrak, though. I don't think his army is strong enough to take it. I guess we could just start with the Frozen Landing and then sail out and grab Sioktraken. You can't reach it anyway. Alright, fine. Frozen Landing it is. Now to resolve this, hopefully, okay, that will absolutely horribly damage our army for no reason whatsoever. Really, game? Really? A bunch of basic marauders? Oh, auto-resolve. What am I gonna do with you? You know what, I guess we could just immediately give this to the Goromadni tribe. We get the unit replenishment this way. Yeah, go for it. And I'm not sure that we need the Lichbone Pennant, because I would imagine that the Doom Knights all have magical damage. Yeah, it's probably not going to be super useful here, because this entire army will have magical damage, just, anyway. You can, I guess, go into encamp stance to heal up a little bit more, stay in our friendly territory, and then head to Sioktraken next. Oh, what if we can't reach it? Oh. You know what, I think we can't risk it. Go in march stance, and then go here. Still in friendly territory, we'll get a little bit hurt, but I don't think we'll be so hurt that we can't take Krakadrak without too many problems. This is now nearly an entire province belonging to these guys. We'll also exploit vassals here. If you take Volksgrad and Yetchich, that'll also be good. Alright. Poor Throg. I feel slightly bad for him. How's that vassalage looking? So we're gonna have to keep an eye on him. We also gotta make sure that one of our allies don't kill him off before we can vassalize him. Alright, Samoth Painbringer, you are headed down to this territory. Oh, you're gonna suffer some attrition, ain't you? Yeah, you know what, just move in camp stance. Looks like you're okay, we just gotta be careful. You need to have enough time to get to these guys, take their territory and the XP therein, and then move all the way back to deal with Grimgor. Though I suppose if Grimgor takes a few of the basic territories, we don't really care about that either. Allied recruitment. How close are we to the next Beast of Nurgle? Fairly far on you. Magathkin, we have it though. Beasts of Nurgle, thank you. Now we got 4 of these guys ready, either for another Nurglite army or possibly for the army of Festus. Both would work nicely, I think. Alright, the rest of that I believe is good, which means 2 things. Thing the first, we need to do buildings. And we no longer have materials at sea, so it's 12k for a single Exalted Dark Fortress, but, well, we have no choice, we gotta get it. That's another Exalted Dark Fortress. Ugh. 12k, ugh, and here's another one. And that's with the exploit vassals and with all of the marble that we have in other places as well. It is expensive, and hey, Middenheim's already here. Nice. Nice indeed, and that's all we can do. I guess we can upgrade you, Shaman's Temple. Alright, and then what is this Bleakhold Fortress? We can repair you and then get you a Twisted Relic. It's more expensive than I'd like, but we're still gonna trade all of this stuff to Marathi, so we gotta keep an eye on that. Now, before I forget, was that this turn that we conquered the place where we were gonna get our Exalted Hero? Yes, it was. So we can't get one here. What we can and should do, however, is this. Tower of Crack. We're gonna need to get 2 Chaos Sorcerers of a Tzeentch, so... it doesn't really matter because they're gonna become Tzeentchian anyway, so Infernal Dominance and... Open Dies, this really doesn't matter. Alright, and we're gonna need an Exalted Hero as well, and this will put our money to negative again. But it is what it is. We got Scaled Skin versus Unearthly Reflexes. Speed versus Tankiness. I'm gonna go with Tankiness, I think. Oh, I guess technically the melee defense plus 10 is also Tankiness. Missile resistance is helpful on the Manticore. I know, let's get Unearthly Reflexes. You are gonna be riding the Manticore, and you're going to be getting stuck in combat. On the other hand, the speed won't do anything for you in the flying army because most other units will probably be as fast or just as fast as you. So it's basically 10 melee defense versus 10% physical resistance and 20% missile. I'm still inclined to say the melee defense might be more useful because you're more likely to get stuck in combat. On the other hand, let's go Unearthly Reflexes, whatever. It really doesn't matter. Alright, and oh, your paths to glory. Actually, it might matter, but depending on what we have here. Vigor Laws for Chosen. Oh. You've got some useless stuff, don't you? Huh. Okay, maybe not. Let's see Scaled Skin. What do you have? Master Masker Eldritch Roar. Yeah, we're keeping you. Scaled Skin it is, sir. You, goodbye. Actually, he wasn't, you know what, maybe I should have kept him for another army. It just was useless for this army, but whatever, too late. Oh, actually, it wouldn't have worked for a Nurgle or Khorne army because we would have lost those past the glory anyway, so now it's fine as it is. Alrighty, we're ready to go next turn unless I'm mistaken. Double check things here, but, Did we peace out with the ogres? Does that do anything for us? We could get 10k out of them. We don't really necessarily need to fight here right now anymore. And just because we're out of troops, or in the sense that village needs to move towards the end game, so we could come back in 10 turns and deal with them. Yeah, you know what, that's fine. Let us peace out with them. Although then they're basically fighting no one. They're not fighting the Bloody Hands, are they? No, they're allied with the Bloody Hands, because this will allow them to recover. They're also not fighting the Empire, they're not fighting Vlad. But Village is busy. You know what, I suppose Village could move to Matorka first and then move up this way second, so maybe not this turn. Alright, skip unassigned skill points, path to glory, commandment available. At the Tower of the Sun, let's go, they've come to the wrong place. And, well, actually, I'm going to trade these territories back to this guy.
What brings you to the Phoenix Court?
Dorelasaur, give us your money.
If you wish.
And whatever the other one was, Tower of the Stars, give us your money as well. Oh, you're out of money. Whatever, take it anyway.
Wise indeed.
Alright, there you go. See, you have an entire territory. Ain't you happy? You should be happy. Damage building's good. Commandment available again at Kislev. We will want to keep those furs. Let's go, they've come to the wrong place. Like so. And Gifts of Chaos. We need to briefly switch Death's Bounty back to Murderous Mechanisms for Be'lakor. This is fine, and Crown of Kings is fine, the rest is fine, and turn. We're also out of time, but I want to see if anything interesting happens, plus the ability to end the turn means that, oh, he sacked or raised Dragonhorn Mines, good for him. He's actually doing something. I'll be able to do the admin, or at least some of the admin between the episodes, which certainly works. McCarthy, trade no, soon, but no. We're still trying to get you to become our vassals, so that's not going to work. Yet. But I'm willing to bet we can make it happen, and ooh, Gorok's army is nearby. Oh, that might be an issue for that little army down there. We'll have to see what Gorok has going for him. In terms of his stack, anyway, and Gorok himself is obviously going to be a problem, because he's one of those basically unkillable lords. And, oh, the Eye of Chaos is open once again. We have Cataclysm of Fire, Magma Storm ability, but only for faction leader. A useless bonus XP for one lord, which is kind of garbage. Some free Nurglings and 1 unit of Plague Drones, and then the Gift of Choice. All of these are awful. Too bad that this is only for faction leaders' army. If only it was for, like... I mean, if it's for faction leaders' army, it should be for like 20 turns. I mean, I know that it's powerful, but it's still not useful for Archaon, because nothing has a chance against his army anyway. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go for XP. I mean, I guess we could get the free Nurglings, but, none of this is really worth our time. And we have infinite souls, so yeah, I guess free XP for an Arath. Alright, enjoy, sir. Creator for Archie, there's that gift of Slaanesh, and surprisingly, nobody attacked us anywhere. Also, you are... wait, where is... who is an Arath? I don't even remember. Does he even... is XP even useful to him? Are we even keeping him? Oh, right, it's this guy. Although now that he's at level 13... we could devote him to something. I'll think about it. I guess I wasn't expecting him to gain this many levels as he has. I think he was actually at level 12, and then this just put him up to 13, but whatever. Anyway, with that, we're out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, Archie will briefly move to Prague, and we will continue the destruction of the of Throgg's faction, and I see you're looking to land here. Please don't go for Crackadrag, just don't. We'll probably get the debut battle for Chance Army, so we'll be able to see the Lords of Change and the Chaos Dragons and the Doom Knights in action next time, just for fun at Sioktraken or possibly at Crackadrag, depending on what we decide. We'll have more Elven battles to take care of as we head towards, well, other Elven factions, and we'll be looking to head towards the Lizards with Kolek as well, and of course, more fun out of Chant down here as he continues his way through the territories of the Court of Libaras. Plenty more chaos to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold if you're into that sort of thing. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.